Origin of Catholicism, Part Number 2. Cruel Shadow of Colonization and the Cross in Nicaragua. Long before Nicaragua bore that name, its lands were home to thriving peoples, communities rich in culture, faith, and connection to nature. But when the Spanish arrived in the early 1500s, the world of the ancestral Nicaraguans was forever changed. What came wrapped in the name of faith and civilization would soon reveal a darker truth: conquest, greed, and cruelty. The colonists came bearing swords and crosses. They spoke of salvation, but their hands built systems of control. Indigenous men and women were forced into endless labor, digging, harvesting, and carrying the wealth of their own land into the hands of foreign masters. Entire villages were torn apart. Many died from exhaustion, hunger, or the unfamiliar diseases that swept through their communities. Religion, which should have been a light of hope, was instead used as a weapon. The Spanish crown and the Catholic Church claimed their mission was holy, to convert the native peoples to Christianity. But in the name of conversion, sacred temples were destroyed, idols burned, and ancient traditions erased. The songs, dances, and prayers that once echoed through the forests and valleys of Nicaragua were silenced by the tolling bells of newly built churches. Even so, not all among the Spaniards were blind to the suffering. Some, like the friar Bartolomé de las Casas, cried out against the injustice. In his writings, he described scenes of terrible cruelty: villages burned, children torn from their families, and people treated as less than human. He called the indigenous souls gentle lambs devoured by the greed of the colonizers. Still, the system continued. While authorities in Spain debated whether the native peoples had rights, the colonists in the Americas acted with near total impunity. Gold, land, and power mattered more than compassion or conscience. And so the indigenous populations of Nicaragua endured centuries of suffering, watching their people diminish and their way of life disappear under the heavy shadow of colonization. Yet even in the midst of devastation, something survived. Fragments of native language, customs, and faith quietly endured, woven into the heart of Nicaraguan identity today. The story of the colonial era is one of pain, yes, but also of resilience. For though the conquerors sought to erase an entire people, they could not destroy the spirit that lived within them, the spirit that still whispers through the land, the rivers, and the memory of those who came before.